Beep, 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 beep. Hello, how are we all? Right, okay. Had a great time at the LGBT Alliance thing. Fantastic. See all the good peeps. Right, so here we go. What we got today? Well, he says. I'm sporting yellow, as you can see. I look like a space opera. Da, 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 da. Oh, there's a blast from the past. Anybody remember Monkey Dust? Right, become a warrior teacher, book coffee, Substack, right? Subscribe. That's subscribe. Now, let's talk about Hollywood, okay? Hollywood, okay? The land of dreams, where dreams are made. As you know, I'm a lover of film, and we've got some news for you from Hollywood, so I'm just going to tell you what the news is. Then we'll talk a bit more about what's been going on in Hollywood. Okay, so let's start with this. This is from Yahoo, who've been around a while. Haven't you, Yahoo? Look at my hair. What's going on there? Right, it's from Yahoo, who've been around a while, right? And it's written something called The Wrap, right? Which is obviously some sort of article thing, right? From Saturday, July the 1st. But it's interesting. It's only a small, short thing, but it's interesting. And I hope you'll find it interesting too. So here we go. It was written by somebody called Sharon Noel. Thank you, Sharon. And it's, according to them, a 3-minute read. I love that they do that. It's like warning you, isn't it? This may take 3 minutes of your life. Okay. Right, so, can you imagine the stupid people that go, 3 minutes? God, I can't be asked for that. They're out there. Just give me the headline so I can be outraged. Go on. Right, so, it's headlined, Diversity Fatigue, Hollywood loses 4 DEI leaders in less than 2 weeks. You see, this is the kind of sort of tiny, silent but deadly news fart, right, that occasionally comes around. This is one of them, I think, as always, for your consideration, I think, right, okay? So, 3 studios and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences laid off or lost top diversity execs in the past 10 days. Which gives the impression that the industry is placing diversity, equity, and inclusion, remember that vile mantra, on the back burner. Now, the drive for diversity that picked up prominence with 2020's Black Lives Matter movement seems to have run its course after just 3 years. Were these roles merely lip service all along, as a black lady sketch show actress Yvette Nicole Brown tweeted, I guess all those black boxes after George Floyd was murdered would for nothing, referencing 2020's social media blackout that was supposed to be in support of the BLM movement. Now, you and I, and everybody else who's not still got their ideological blinders on, know that BLM have been exposed for what they were. Most people don't realise that BLM from the very beginning, said that they see everything through a trans and queer lens. So I was onto them within hours of it all breaking. I knew what they were, right? It's just that the rest of the world hasn't quite woken up to it yet. Candace Owen did a video about this, a film about this, didn't she, where she tried to get to the leaders to talk to them. I understand some of them are being investigated for fraud. At any rate, the whole thing just turned out to be a nonsense. So, I ought to do something on that. I ought to do the trans queer connection with BLM, shouldn't I? I'll have a think about it, how I could do that, because I have to show you things. I don't know how to do that. Or I need to learn. Okay, so here we go, right? Disney's Chief Diversity Officer and Senior Vice President, LaTondra Newton, a 6-year veteran, how can you be a 6-year veteran? A 6-year veteran was the first of the 4 to go. On June the 20th, the company said that Newton was leaving to pursue other endeavours. That's code, isn't it? That's code. Code for you're gone. Other endeavours. Predictably, her exit was celebrated by a faction of people who blamed her for the Little Mermaid's woke casting of black actress and singer Halle Bailey. Well, didn't the Little Mermaid fall flat on his ass because it was just crap anyway? I don't know. Her departure was followed by Wednesday's announcement, so on the Wednesday we had another one go, of Verna Myers, Netflix head of inclusion strategy. These people. It's taken 3 years for the world to wake up and go, hang on, this is a grift. Right? Will step down from the role in September. She was the first person to serve in the role, which she held for 5 years. She will remain as an advisor to Netflix as she focuses her attention to her consulting company, the Verna Myers Company. That's 2. 10 DI officers hanging on the wall. Could this be the beginning of it? The end of this nonsense? Friday, the day after, the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action, right, in education, brought a double departure from Warner Brothers. Discovery ousting SVP, Senior Vice President, I'm presuming SVP means, Senior Vice President of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion, Karen Horn. And the... I'm enjoying this immensely. And the Academy parting ways with EVP, something Vice President. What's the Equity Vice President? Or parting ways with EVP of Impact and Inclusion. It was just such confidence, isn't it? Impact and Inclusion. Janelle English. Horn joined Warner Brothers in March 2020, while English's role was created by Academy CEO Bill Kramer in July 2022. So, July 2022, we're now in June, so less than a year. And that's hardly time to get up and get your shoes on, is it, when it comes to sort of something as large as Warner Brothers? Got to read between the lines. The coal's coming! Do you want fries with that? This stuff is going to blacken people's careers, isn't it? Were you involved in that? We were. Okay, great. You know, it's going to blacken people's careers, as it should, for the mindlessly following the mantras of nonsense. Now, SWAT writer Brian Margolis, this is obviously somebody who wrote the film SWAT, the screenplay for the film SWAT, tweeted on Horn's departure, "Let me be clear. If your plan is to restructure your diversity initiatives by removing Karen Horn, your plan is to make everything exponentially worse." And then he's F, blank, K, Warner Brothers CEO David Zaslav. So he's not happy, is he? This Brian Margolis. What if he's related to Miriam? No, he's Margolis, she's Margolese, isn't she? Strange woman. Right. At the RAPS Power Women's Summit in December, Heartbeat CEO Ty Randolph predicted that DI roles were vulnerable. What, vulnerable to being full of crap? That DIs were vulnerable, saying that they were on the chopping block. It's like some Tudor drama playing out, innit? Right, right, get done. Off with the head. And non-binary balloon. Off you go. They said they were on the chopping block. If leaders don't make it a business imperative. So what they're saying there, what this guy's saying, Ty Randolph, the CEO of Heartbeat, is saying that a business should not be in business to make money as an imperative. A business should be in business to be inclusive and do DEI and actually to make sure everybody's happy clappy. Right? Okay? Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. These people are insane. So, said Randolph, if you do not look at building inclusive organisations as critical success, the profitability, the scaling of your company and its objectives, those are the things that are greatly at risk. Right? Get it? If you do not look at building inclusive organisations as critical to the success, the profitability, the scaling of your company and its objectives, those are the things that are greatly at risk. I don't think there was anybody from Bud Light in the room, do you? Or Target, or Yorkshire Building Society, or Barclays, you know, or anybody else that's getting a kick in the ghoulies currently for being stupid and investing in equity and turning businesses into Marxist frontiers. Happy clappy crap to you. That's what I say. Now, interestingly, you know, a business should be inclusive. It should be inclusive of people who want to help the business make money. Because if the business make money, they make money, right? We don't care what you look like. Don't care what you wear. You know, come on. Anybody will do. Are you competent? That's all we care about. These nutters. You know, it's not... Years ago, when, you know, dealing in things where we were looking things from a Marxist lens, the idea of power and oppression was the idea of the distribution of wealth. It was about a real class analysis of how things can move forward. And we cherry pick that as we pick other things. We stopped doing it. There's nothing good about this at all. So it's got a Marxist kind of framework. It's all power and oppression. Black against white, gay against straight, queer versus the world. It's all that, here we go, shit. Right, to make things up. But that's the structure, whether we like it or not. I know a few crusty old Marxists that don't, right? Okay, so... But behind it, of course, is big money. Big pharma. So we're back there again. You've got to take it out of the political. Right? You've got to take it out of the political. It's a cultural thing, right? We do not want businesses run on the basis that they're happy-clappy, right? Okay, and include everybody based on immutable characteristics. We want businesses that make money, lots of it, so they can pay their people money. That's what we want, right? Good money, okay? Successful businesses, successful people. It's not complicated. It's the best system there is, all right? Okay, because it doesn't rely on some magic money tree, for a start, nor does it rely on your complete capitulation as an individual to a massive, global, big pharma or otherwise corporation. I think the enemy here is corporatism. I think the enemy here is the identitarian nature of a Marxist framework using race and colour or everything else goes with it. They're the danger. But it's interesting because that's Hollywood is... Hello. If anybody hasn't seen Beau is Afraid yet, by the way, there's a film called Beau is Afraid. It's fucking nuts. It's utterly nuts, right? It's utterly nuts, but it's so uncomfortable to watch. But I think it's got the zeitgeist, right? By that I mean I think it's telling a story of our times. I think it's telling a story. Spoilers, turn off. If you haven't seen it and you want to see it, I couldn't barely get through it. It's so long. Unnecessarily, I think. So I think it's got the current zeitgeist snuffed. Sussed, right? Because it's about a beta-cut bloke. It's about a beta bloke. He's weak, can't make any decisions. Gets walked toward. The kind of bloke that's, supporting the TQ plus nonsense because they're so weak. They can't make a declarative statement and believe in reality. So these kind of beta males that inhibit everywhere, like almost an incel type thing, rife with paranoia. And he lives in this shithole of a city somewhere in America, which I think is meant to be San Francisco. Where they're all stoned, killing each other, and shitting in the streets. I think it's San Francisco, who then has to journey across America to go and go to his mother's funeral. And meets various people along the way. And there's a great scene involving blue and pink paint, where, he's taken over a girl's life. It's right there in your face. And throughout it, he's just this weak, pathetic, useless man who's no good to anybody. Absolutely no good to anybody. And it's called Beau is Afraid because he's afraid of everything. So if you want to watch it, go and watch it by all means. I think it's an hour too long, but it was still very enjoyable and there's loads to unpack. Loads. So Hollywood's, something's happening, people. Wait, Oppenheimer on the way. We're seeing things. Something's happening. All right, so keep an eyeball. Culturally, we can watch what's going on. Culturally, we can see what's happening in the zeitgeist. So fantastic to talk to you. Great. Good. Off you go. Do your thing. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.